And we're back. So, just a quick recap. We're doing the focus of stringed instruments. Uh, I just went and did the invasion of the Nords and the scene in the coastal town of Cromwell. And then Jeremy just put in the first instance of magic is witnessed in the next period, magical emergence. And so now up on the list is Mike. It's your turn to put a period event or scene.
Okay. I think I'm going to. I think I'm gonna put an event in, and it's gonna be in the. Um, to be in the period of rise of the Magi class, and it is the founding of um, my girlfriend being annoying, apparently. The founding of Roxford University.
Roxford.
Yes. I like it already.
Yeah, I like that idea. And I don't know if it has to be like. Yeah, I like that.
Light or dark?
It is a light.
All right.
Easiest way to do arrows. Yep, there you go.
Got it.
Yeah, if you hover over it, you can click the down button or over.
Well,
Okay. So next up is you, Will.
Okay. Um, I think I'm going to make. Do we have to type the scene stuff ourselves, or I don't know what we're doing. It's fine either way. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
I'm
mean, do you want me to do it?
I'd prefer because I don't like typing out all the stuff I type slow. It's going to be a non-directed scene under first instance of magic is witnessed.
Okay. Cool. I just made some room for it.
Oh, yay.
All right. So what are we looking at under the first instance of magic?
Okay. It's going to be what um what stopped the growing conflicts between um the lower class of Cromwell and the Nordic rulers.
Oh. Okay. So where is this scene taking place?
The same town square, but this time, like, there's Nordic soldiers, like, patrolling the streets. Um, and there's, like, an argument. There's, like, a growing, like, just clamor. Or whatever. Band characters are going to be Brando.
Okay. What about? We'll start with required characters. Are any
Okay,
required?
sorry.
No problem.
I want to say Dimitri Lewis' son.
Okay.
And and how about uh, yeah, and how about Ola and tell about the commander, the Nordic commander in chief, and I want to establish that his last name is Olafsson, but they can pick whatever first name they want.
Okay. Okay, so you're acquiring Dimitri Lewisson and the Nordic commander-in-chief, whatever, Olafsson.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've banned Brando.
Mhm.
You have one more ban?
Anyone named Lumpy's son. I don't want
Good.
want there to be an heir of Lumpy.
Apparently, Lumpy was not liked.
Okay.
Just infertile. Gets to us all.
All right. Okay, so now we get to go around, and I guess starting with me would be the closest, and then we go make it back down to Sacrilege for picking characters, or Will. So it starts with me.
Wait, wouldn't it start with
Oh no! It would start with Mike, and then it would work backwards out from there. Yeah.
I'm fine either way. I get second pick.
Yeah.
So
All right, Mike, you get first pick.
All right, and what do we have for required characters? Sorry.
Oh, the required characters are Dimitri Lewisson and the Nordic commander-in-chief, whatever first name, but his last name has to be Olafsson.
Okay. I think I'm actually just going to be one of the Nordic soldiers that's policing.
Okay.
And his name is Francis. Yeah. Francis,
Nordic policeman.
the Nordic soldier policing the town square.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Jeremy?
okay. I would like to be the Nordic commander in chief. His name, his first name will be, dang it, I just had it. Bailoff Olafsson.
His first name will be Dang It.
His first name will be Dang It. Dang it, Olafsson. No, Bailoff. Yeah.
I'm gonna play. I don't want to play Dimitri. I want to play Dimitri's mother.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Her name is going to be Helga. Or Helgi. I like Helgi more.
Helgi.
Helgi
Okay.
Lewisson.
Sounds good.
Wait,
Dimitri's.
Lewisson? Okay. Or I wasn't sure if we were doing the whole son-daughter thing or whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, that's right. How do you do that then? What do you say?
It
for
would
last
be
name?
like Lewis' daughter? Or is it the mother's name? I guess it could be Ivor. I don't know.
They both have Lewis's. You know what? Let's
Yeah.
just make it easy.
Yeah, so Lewis' daughter.
Yep.
And it's with like no G's, just Tottor or whatever.
Yeah. Oh no. I thought that her father's last name was Lewisson, and she kept her father's last name.
Oh, okay, that worked too.
I don't know how this works. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess that leaves me with Dimitri, right?
Yes, it does. So now we go back in order, starting with Francis / Mike, and describe what we're thinking.
I think Francis is thinking about how he's ready for his shift to be done. He's tired. He had to pull a double of town guard, and he is absolutely exhausted.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I think Bailoff is thinking, what is all of this commotion going on in the center of town? And he's going to go investigate it.
Okay. I think Helgi is upset that Dimitri's sneaking off into the crowd and needs to keep her son safe.
Okay. Dimitri is thinking, my grandfather unified this town 100 years ago. I must carry on his legacy.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
Okay. So we start. Helgi, you hear Helgi calling from the crowd, calling out for Dimitri, like Dimitri, where are you?
Okay. Yeah, Dimitri's just like, Mother, let me do this.
Not without your coat. You forgot your furs.
They get in the way.
The way of what? Your health? Come on.
He's just going straight to the well, in the
Okay.
middle of the argument.
Okay. Her mom's, Dimitri's mom's struggling to keep up and get over there, trying to get through the crowd. You know, like, for Freyr's sake, or whatever, or Thor's, or whatever it is they worship now. Trying to
Insert
get
God worshipped here.
there. Yeah. For
Oh,
For
for the
Odin's sake,
maker's
yeah.
sake. Yeah. So I don't know what the argument's about. Maybe the price of fish or whatever. But
The price of fish is too damn high.
What are you talking about? It's perfectly fine.
but Dimitri just climbs to the top of the well. He's like 15, which is adult in these times or whatever, and says, "People of Cromwell, 100 years ago, Lewis, a great hero of our village, unified this town under the Nords with the power of song. I will, um, this tradition has been passed down from my family. I can see your discontent, but we must remember, we are family now. We must remain together against the elements." And he like takes out his lute, and he tuned it beforehand just to make sure he didn't spend like 20 minutes tuning it.
Sure.
All right, guys, watch me whip out these sick riffs.
Give me an
Wait.
E. I
Just
need an
one second.
E.
Wait, hold on. I think my lute's in drop D. I think I need a tune. Anybody got a tuner? Anybody got a tuner?
Oh man.
Yeah. And
Sorry, go ahead.
oh, you can.
I think
you
as you go to pull out your lute, Francis looks at Bailiff and says, "Sir."
I think Bailiff holds out a hand and
It's like
and says, "No, let it ride, let it ride." He's just like, let the child play.
Yeah, and yeah, her mom is kind of like probably like near the front of where Dimitri's like on the well, like holding her coat, but like clearly has stopped because Dimitri's getting ready to play.
Mom, the coat doesn't help when I try to shred.
Yeah, and so he starts playing that original beautiful song that Lewis played or whatever. That was like the mix between a funeral dirge and a marriage song or whatever. But as he's playing above him, this like glowing sigil that sort of looks like a combination of the symbols to precipitate and the symbol for air in the pictures that I linked. So like a triangle with a sideways L through it, but instead of the just straight sideways L, there'd be a dip in the middle of the triangle. And um, this as he's playing this beautiful song, just like this whistling wind rolls through the town, and it's noticeable this time. It's just strong. It blows loose leaflets or whatever just around, and it just creates this circle of air around him.
Whoa. Her coat and like, or Helgi's holding the coat and the coat's like flapping and stuff in the wind.
Oh, I don't know if you want...
I think maybe at this point, Bailoff grabs Francis and says, and it's like, get me a lute as well, and it's like tries to get a instrument of some kind.
Sure, I think Francis runs off,
Yeah.
like completely mystified and like actually probably a little terrified about what's happening, and just runs off to try to find a lute.
Yep.
Yeah. I think as he's getting to the climax of the song or whatever, the coat leaves his mom's hand and starts flying around above him.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that.
No, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so maybe when Bailoff's character gets the lute to him or whatever, the song ends, and the coat just falls down, and he reaches up and grabs the coat.
Oh.
Kind of like the idea that Francis shows up immediately after, like just a second too late with the lute, like his fur bailiff. Like
I think then Bailiff like snatches it out of your hands and then like weaves through the crowd and like maybe like just kind of strong arms his way through, and then is like, and then says, "Boy, sit and play with me for a while.
Yeah.
Let us see more of your skill." And then like I guess he starts to play like another song that may be pretty known. Let's see. I have to think of things that a lute would play.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the sigil is still there. It sort of looks like if you stared at the sun too long at this point.
Yeah. Well, now was it just like up in the air, or was it like?
Yeah, it's just there. Like
Okay.
if you move to the side or try and like look at it, it all looks like the same thing from all
It's
perspectives.
like Mona Lisaing you.
Yeah.
It's like the Mona Lisa. Okay. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's a different type of like a different song, but it's in that same style of like something you would hear. Maybe it's something like you would hear at like a dance or like a big town gathering, like a fun time kind of.
It's not 99 bottles of beer on the wall.
No, it's not 99 bottles of beer. No, it's
just like a hymn or like a
Yeah.
like just a folk song.
yeah.
Like a folk ballad.
Like
Yeah.
a happy version of My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean, not a sad version.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
and maybe as that plays, is there? I guess maybe there's like a. Is there a sigil for light? I guess maybe like at that point.
Maybe it's like a different verb, but still with air.
Yeah. Oh, it's like a circle with a dot in the middle, and then there's a triangle with that L, and then all of a sudden like the clouds start to part above, and there's like a bright beam of light that shines down onto the town itself, and like as they're playing and picking up the pace a little bit, like it just seems like the day is getting brighter, and everything's like
Like summery.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like summery, like
All right.
instead of
Cool.
being that like fall crap that we have now.
Helgi just casually mentions like, well, I guess Dimitri doesn't need his coat.
Yeah, yeah, maybe like originally it wasn't gonna be like that, but then Dimitri was just like, no, no, hands here and here. Now you're good.
Okay.
Or maybe like, yeah, it's like we kind of just start free forming, and then it ends up being like we kind of get into sync, and like you play
Yeah,
one octave, I play another octave, and it just sounds really like,
Oh, the first harmony.
yeah,
yeah,
it's like the first harmony, and that's like when like everything starts to light up and the
yeah.
clouds start to part.
Awesome. Okay. I think that answers the question. I don't know. What do we think?
I think
Yeah, I
so.
think so.
Yeah.
Uh, the first harmony.
I also kind of want to establish that like the loot's connected to the air element or whatever.
Okay. Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. So the loot's infused with air's power and the first magic harmony. Light or dark?
I'd say light
Awesome.
because
Yeah, I would also say light.
also I think that may have been the best question I've ever asked for a microscope scene.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know, not for sure, but that was a really good question. All right. So then it's back to me. And I get to cap off this focus with another nested thing. Only I'm going to do. I'm going to do an event, but I'm going to do a dictated scene. So I'm going to do it under the age of metal.
Woohoo! Metal.
The punks of Armageddon tour.
I love it already.
Yep. So the punks of Armageddon tour falls under the age of metal. This is a dark scene.
Uh-oh.
I imagine something almost akin to the Warp Tour meets like Mad Max. Only, like obviously in a fantasy setting, so just in terms of like just roughshod kind of punk music, people who kind of just go from like town to town or whatever and end up like trashing it, playing like this crazy type of music.
So like Green Day?
Yeah, basically just
Okay.
fantasy Green Day. Yeah.
Fantasy Green. Oh Jesus.
Don't wanna be a Cromwellian idiot.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
So I'm gonna do a dictated scene. And the scene question is going to be, what happens when the tour makes its way, possessive its way, or when the tour makes a stop in Cromwell. And the scene will be the aftermath of the tour, and the camera kind of zooms around because this is the dictated scene. I could basically know the answer to the scene already, and I just can describe it. It doesn't require an all play. So I'm going to describe the town just being like in just a ruin. Like there's just like garbage. Buildings are all like either like some of them are burned down. Some of the other buildings are like disassembled. There's like chalk graffiti, like punks, like anarchy signs in different places. Just like the magical residue just like kind of reeks here. Ravaged. So this is a dark.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
oh, you're fine.
The link was condensed, and I just wanted to post it.
There. Okay. So that's my last part of the focus. So once we're done that means this turn of the focuses and everything are done. Just for a quick moment, we take a break and we just ask each other, are we having a good time? Is this game kind of making sense? Are we in? So are we? Like, are we liking it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am quite enjoying it, and I'm glad that everybody else has enjoyed this basic idea that I brought to the table. Makes me feel really happy. So
Yeah, me too.
it's really
It was a
cool.
good idea, and it's this is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
So the last thing to do before Jeremy takes over the mantle of Lens.
His legacy, right?
Exactly, and that's you, Will. You get to make the legacy.
Nice. I get an ounce of control before I lose it all. Um,
And then just for the audience, just in case anybody's wondering, what is the legacy?
So
What exactly does that entail?
sure. So a legacy is just a sort of like reprieve or a reprisal of something that came up in play underneath the time as the focus of stringed instruments. It doesn't have to necessarily be even related to the focus. It could be about anything that just came up in play. It's just something that Will's found interesting that we discovered that wants to do either an event or a scene. So either a scene or event about whatever you found interesting.
okay. I want to say what I found interesting is the line of Lewison. Like, I like that idea of a dynasty. Not dynasty, but
A legacy.
Yeah, legacy.
Like a literal legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And I get to make one thing or maybe a nested thing.
No, you only get to make one thing, either an event or a dictated scene.
Okay. I want to put a dictated scene under the founding of Roxford University.
Okay.
And the question is gonna be, um, who was the first headmaster of Roxford? Who was the
Like
first
the
headmaster, like
like
the
the
first founder, I guess.
yeah. I was gonna ask, do you mean the founder or like the
Yeah, founder.
also whoever put rocks in capital? You are awesome.
That was me.
Nice.
Changed it.
Okay. So where is this scene taking place, and what's the answer?
Okay, so the scene's taking place in um it's like it's in it's just it's at the Roxford University site, just to the north of Cromwell.
Okay.
And a very, like, a man in his 40s, which is sort of old for the time,
Sure.
is standing in front of the university smiling, and says, "My my father, my father Dmitri would be so proud
Oh.
to see me, to see his son, God,
Words.
Bailoff Lewison, um, finally establishing a center for unity among a center to unify the minstrels of the land."
Awesome. Light or dark?
I'd say it's light.
Okay. Cool. So now we know bailiff. Oh,
Oh, oops, sorry.
that's fine. I got it.
Okay, sorry.
No problem. Done. Okay. So now we rotate the mantle to Jeremy.
Yay. Okay. What do I want the focus to be?
Yeah, we made a lot of scenes so far.
Mm-hmm. We have.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want to be too narrow, but I also don't want to be too too broad. What do I want to focus on? Uh,
Whatever you want. It could be as specific or as narrow as you want.
Oh,
actually, I want to focus on the schools of music.
Okay. All
And
right.
so with this, we would just basically focus on the different schools of music and stuff, right? So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. So now I have the choice of, and I usually get this terminology wrong. It's I get an event and a scene, or I get a period and an event. Is that how that works?
You can you either get a period, an event, or you get an event and a scene.
Okay. Um, I think I want to do an event and a scene. Um, an event, I want to say, is the first battle of the bands. And that's going to be. I'm going to say that's under the rise of the. No. Yeah, I want to say that it's under the Age of Metal.
Okay.
That's before the Punks of Armageddon tour.
Okay. I'll make it.
Okay.
And it was the what? Battle of the Bands?
Yeah, the first battle of the bands.
Okay. Are you going to make a scene under it?
Yes.
Okay.
And the question. Now, this is a question I don't think that's come up in any other time that we've played Microscope, at least with myself. Now, do the questions only have to be one-part questions, or can they be two-part questions?
They have to be one question.
One question. Okay.
So
Basically, I'll say who won. Who won the Battle of the Bands?
no problem. Is this a all play or a dictated?
let's say it's an all play. I don't want to determine what
Sure.
particular genre.
Yeah, if you don't have an
to win.
answer, that's what you do.
So yeah, I really don't have an answer, so let's find out.
Okay, so where's the scene taking place?
This is taking place um, at Roxford University in the brand new hall that was made specifically for the students of metal, which they have lovingly called the Thunderdome,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
which is this like gigantic arena. Like think of the
Thunderdome
size.
Hall. Yeah.
Yeah, like think like the area that they play in is pretty much the size of what's the stadium that they play at for the Super Bowl? American football?
The sports ball? It
Yeah.
depends. Depends on the stadium.
It's-
The one in
it
Dallas?
changed.
No,
Yeah, it changes all the time.
really shit.
It changed recently, yeah.
Wherever the Saints play, just think of a really freaking big football stadium, and that's basically like the Thunderdome Hall.
Okay, so it's the size of like a coliseum.
Yeah, it's like a Coliseum size.
Sure. Okay.
And like just to set the scene a little bit,
The
like
Superdome, by the way.
is it the Superdome? Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at was the Superdome. Thanks, sports ball fans. So yeah, just to set the scene a little bit, like this is the first battle of the bands in the history of Roxford University. Everybody's basically turned out because there's all these because this has never happened before. Everyone wants to see how this is gonna go,
Sure.
and just like everyone's freaking pumped. Like this is gonna be, everyone's like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Like, yeah.
Okay. So, required or banned characters?
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna say a required character is okay. The required character is going to be Rita Lord, who is
Is it spelled like the artist?
yeah.
Okay, with an E. Sure.
With an E.
Lord. All right, read a Lord.
And she's she's like one of the metal students who's playing.
Okay.
And another is going to be actually I don't have another required character.
That's fine. Any band
But-
characters?
Band character would probably be Bailoff Lewison.
Sure.
Yep. And that's all of my band characters.
Okay. So now I think it would start with me, and then
Yeah.
go
To
to
me
Will,
and
Mike,
then
then
Mike.
Jeremy
Yeah.
for picking
Yep.
characters. All right.
Yep.
I'm gonna play. Ooh. Oh, I get it. Oh my God, that's awesome. Yes.
What?
I'm going to play Ronaldo. Reynaldo. I need a Spanish last name.
Escuela
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, that works.
He is a Latin music.
Oh, yes.
Actually, no. I'm gonna. Oh, you already took Rita, so yeah, I'll do Ronaldo. I was gonna use Rita. Nope. Yeah, Reynaldo Gonzalez. All right.
Okay. For my character, I sort of had this idea. Like, I want it to be. Can does it have to be specifically a person, or can it be an entire band if they're
No, you should pick a person, but you can always play the band. Like you can always end up being someone like a third party like non-person.
yeah,
It's just that
because
you
Yeah.
don't have the immunity to like not being killed or anything like that. Like people can subject you when you're playing a third person to
Yeah,
different
okay.
things than like your actual character.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just I wanted to have
Yeah, I mean,
a
like if you
Daft Punk character, and I was gonna name it Bath Punk because there's a British town named Bath,
Oh
and
yeah.
like you know how they do the whole "don't talk," they aren't people, they're things wearing a mask or whatever. It was gonna be like that, but just medieval fantasy style.
So with so would you
So
say it's punk with an E?
yeah, no, it is. It's
Like
nice.
ye old
like
punk.
Ye old.
lead member of Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Well, or it could be
Nameless.
like
Oh, so they have like medieval helmets that like light up.
Yeah, they.
yeah. Or you could do it.
Sorry.
You could do the same thing like with Prince. Like Prince was just known as Prince, but then he had like the whole band with him. So you could
Yeah.
just be Daft Punk,
Yeah,
the
Daft
character,
Punk.
in Daft Punk the band.
Yes, Daft Punk the character and Daft Punk the band. That
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. You would just be
Yeah.
playing Joan Jett, but you would have control of the Blackhearts as well.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
No problem.
Oh, no, it's okay.
That's good. That's good. No, this is awesome.
Wow, my Joan Jett reference or the Joan Jett example is actually a really good example of that. Nice.
My turn. I am going to be playing Morris Vaughn. And he is judging the Battle of the Bands.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
He's a professor at Roxford U.
All right.
Yeah. And so I guess that means I'll play Rita Lord, which is great because I wanted to play her anyway.
Awesome. Okay. So now we go back in order and we describe what we're thinking. And I'm okay. So I guess it starts with me then again. Reynaldo is thinking that that his Latin salsa music and its enchanting rhythms makes him a surefire win.
Okay. So Will, what's Bath Punk thinking?
His indescribable music is gonna add a whole new dimension to magic, literally.
Cool. Morris is I think Morris is excited to see what his students can do. So that's probably what he's thinking.
Okay.
And then I think Rita is very nervous. Like metal's kind of still of a new thing, so she's not sure if everyone's going to like it or not. But
Sure.
she's just gonna go out there and like play. She's gonna play her ass off, see what happens.
Totally. Okay. So who goes first?
Um,
Um,
Maybe the salsa music. That sort of makes sense. I think
think,
Rita
I
Lord
I
should
think
go
the
first.
judge would probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Morris steps up on stage, and he after a like large roar from the crowd settles down. He just kind of looks over the crowd and he goes, "So, Yeah, today we're here for the first inaugural Battle of the Bands at Rockford U. Let me hear everybody roar, and everybody freaking screams.
Woo! Yeah, everyone cheers.
And he goes, "I'm your judge, Morris Vaughn. You've seen me, I guess, around the halls in your classes. I'm a pretty cool dude. But first up, we have Reynaldo Gonzalez. I will let him introduce his own band.
All
Let's
right.
get it started."
Cool. So immediately, like the lights go kind of like dim or whatever. And then you hear like the trumpets come on in the background, and they go do like a sort of like matador kind of sound, like dun dun
Sure.
dun 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 dun, kind of something like that. And then like the lights, like a single light comes on in the center, I imagine like red drapes or whatever, like on the stage. They open up, and you see like a guy in a matador costume, and the crowd starts like cheering, like or like clapping, like he's there, and like the music has like that, like that's clacking, whatever, like that da 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 thing, and it goes into a step, and he does like a little like sashay up the stage, and like the bass line kind of like comes in or whatever, like the doom da dun 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 da dun dun kind of thing, and he goes, "Buenos dias. My name is Reynaldo Gonzalez, and I am going to give you hits both above and below the belt." And he does like a big like hip thrust to the crowd, and then like does like a spin and like comes around, um, and then like the music like starts like getting kind of like more and more, and he starts getting kind of like more like salsa-y and like doing like more like shakings of stuff, and then all of a sudden like two like the girls like that look like from Carmen. Like just like the red dress, black haired with a little like flower in her hair type girls, and you see him like dancing between both of them. And while this is happening, like you can see sort of like love petals or like flower petals of like pink love, kind of like start like flowing from like his footsteps and stuff like that. And like the whole crowd is like getting into like the motion and like the story of his music. Until he finally like ends with obviously, since he is a scumbag, both the girls in his arms, and they both kiss him on a cheek and like lift their legs up or whatever at the end of the music perfectly, and everyone's like clapping and cheering and stuff, and he blows
Yeah.
kisses to the crowd, and he like he goes off. Boom.
Fuck. That's really cool.
And Morris blocks back from the stage. He's like, all right, settle down, ladies, settle down. I know Reynaldo can. Anyway, so yeah, next up we have who's next? Next up we have my notes. Bath Punk, hit it.
Okay. So, Daft Punk just kind of walks on stage. They're wheeling they're wheeling their instruments, which look just sort of weird and more like machines than actual instruments. Like they've got complex systems of pulleys and levers or whatever.
Mhm.
And
Because of course it is a complex system of levers and pulleys.
yeah, and they're also wheeling on like a stickman with one of their helmets or whatever, because of course they're wearing signifying helmets. They're
Of course.
signifying. Yeah, it's just a knight's helmet with like lights glowing from it. It's cool looking. But so anyway, they start playing and it's faster, better, stronger, or whatever.
Mhm.
But as they're playing, they start with Caput Mortem, uh, because basically it's just the symbol for useless or whatever. And they keep adding just random different symbols to it, and for every symbol they add, like the first symbol they add, the sticks or whatever in the thing turn to bone, and then they just add pieces of human flesh to the um, man one by one over the course of the song. And I think I don't know who's supposed to speak for the crowd. I think it's the judge who's speaking for the crowd.
No, you're telling it, so say what the crowd thinks.
Yeah.
I think the crowd would be kind of horrified. They did just do
I know, yeah.
necromancy or some equivalent of it.
Mechromancy.
Yeah, necromancy.
The
And
best kind of Mancy.
and the weird thing about the symbol is like the symbol looks like a three-dimensional figure by the end.
Oh.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. And so Bath Trunk like raises their just like looks super proud at the end of the song, and it's just dead silent.
Oh.
Like everyone's horrified, and like they just leave in a huff, and I think the thing just follows them.
Okay.
Oh
Can I
god.
ask? Yeah, so then Morris comes back on stage and he, like, it's completely silent. And he just walks out and he's like, well, yeah.
It's just crickets or whatever.
Sure.
Next up, we have Rita Lord. Take her away.
Yeah, I think at this point, like you see a couple of like, you know how at rock concerts they have like the cabinets that go on either side come out, and everybody like the drum kit on wheels comes over, and then you see Rita and the rest of her band like come out, and they're all wielding like your typical instruments of rock, you know.
Sure.
And Rita has got her like flying V guitar.
Oh yeah, yeah. The flying
'Cause-
V lute, or is it a guitar?
No, it's definitely a guitar. It's definitely like your typical guitar, except it's all like white and gold, and it's super cool. And she addresses the crowd, and she's like, "All right, you guys, you ready to hear some heavy metal?" And everyone's like freaking out, like, yeah, we want to hear some heavy metal. And so she like rips into a pick slide, and then goes like straight into probably the closest rendition. Probably like the closest thing would be like something like "Holy Diver" by Dio.
Oh god.
Sure.
And like and as soon as like she hits like the first couple of power chords, like you see like fire erupt from the stage like straight up, but there's no
Oh.
like fire pots or anything. And then like out of the cabinets you see like lightning crackling, and it doesn't like hit anything in particular, it just like strays off into the sky. And then like people at this point like getting a light show and everything, so they're going crazy. And yeah, like, and everyone's just like ripping out solos and shredding, and it's pretty cool. But like there's no, I guess, what am I trying to say? Yeah, like nobody's getting hurt or anything. It's all just like spectacles and stuff. And then like right
Theatrics,
at the
yeah.
end, and then like just to end it, it's just like a really like beefy, chunky power chord that just rings out into the distance, and you see like the fire come up again, and it's like, yeah, and it's just like you hear that awesome, like, that one power chord, you all know what I'm talking about. It just resonates with you, and you're just like, yeah, and get fucking pumped, and everyone's like going wild, like almost as wild as when Reynaldo Gonzalez was out. Like, yeah,
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much the same,
Sure.
same as when Reynaldo comes out. And yeah, and then she's just like, thank you everybody, thank you. And they're all super cool, and so they pull everything off stage.
Sure. I think Morris comes back on and he's, well, that was an experience, man. Yeah.
Oh, can I just add something?
Yeah, add whatever you want.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like Morris probably looks like the dude from Ancient Aliens. Like his hair's all like
Yes!
crazy out. Like he's just like had like his like just rocked his pants off. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
he just looks like literally looks like he was blown away.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And he comes back and he's like, "Could we have all the bands back on stage?" And like everybody shuffles out.
Yeah, I think probably like at this point, like Rita and the rest of her like band hasn't even taken all their stuff off yet. So like the drummer walks out with sticks in hands, everyone else walks
Yeah.
out with their guitars and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Daft Punk just sends out the golem thingy
Oh,
as a representative.
God.
Oh
Dude.
god. I think like Rita and her band kind of just like takes 2 steps away from it, like awkwardly, trying to make
Yeah.
it like super casual, but definitely not.
Yeah, Reynaldo feels uncomfortable being near it.
Yeah, and so Morris like kind of pulls out an envelope, even though he's made the decision. Like he
Yeah.
pulls out the envelope by himself, and he
Oh.
kind of like looks around. And he's like, "So, the winner is." And he kind of looks over at the golem, and "You want to do the honors?" And like
Oh,
the
God.
golem doesn't do anything. The golem just kind of like
It nods,
Makes-
actually.
does it nod.
Yeah, slowly, but it obviously hears you.
Sure. And so he's kind of taken aback by the golem moving, and he's like, "Well, anyway, and he like rips open the envelope, and he goes, "The winner is Rita Lord," and like fire
And
erupts.
I guess and the band is just fucking floored at this point. They're just like, "Oh my god, oh my god," and they're like hugging each other, and it's like crazy, and yeah. I guess what's the band's what's the crowd's reaction to this? Like, are they all going nuts?
I
I'm
imagine
pretty sure
it's
the
overwhelmingly
crowd
positive.
the crowd's on your side and
Yeah.
goes equally as insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Reynaldo is also super on your side. Like he's not pissed at all. Like you blew it away. Like you didn't know you could make music like that.
Yeah,
Like-
and I think Rita would have the courtesy of like actually going over and shaking Ronaldo's hand and being like, hey, your music was awesome, and just like, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Expecting
and like
this
congratulating him for just like at least being there.
crazy fusion of metal and salsa. Or
Like-
follow-up album.
Yeah,
Like Oh.
I think I would probably give a peck on the cheek to Rita, and I think Reynaldo would be like say something to the effect of being like, I know the salsa and the merengue is the language of love, but your rock music, your metal music was the language of pure passion, and then kisses you on the cheek, right?
Ah,
Yeah. The golem sticks out its hand to shake Rita's hand.
I think like it's a little awkward, but yeah, she definitely like reaches out and shakes its hand.
Yeah, it
Just
just
like tries to be courteous about it. That's
You
really
hear
fucking
the-
weird.
you hear the song when you shake its hand, and it just feels kind of cold. But other than that, it's just normal hand.
Cool. Well, I think we answered
That's
the
the
question.
answer. Yep. Rita.
Freaking Rita Lord. With
Does
the
Rita
power
Lord
of
have a band name?
yes, Rita Lord's band name is Rita Lord
Okay.
because they couldn't think of anything better before the
like it.
Battle of the Bands.
Okay. So, there we go. That's the first part of the focus. Do you need another break? It's 11, so it's been about an hour since our last one.
Yes, unfortunately, my fuel is running low, and
No
after that really awesome display of reggae and electronic and metal, my imagination is just like blown right now. So yeah, let's if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem. Let's take another quick 5-minute break, and we'll pick it up from there with Mike's turn.
Sweet.
Woo! Cannot wait.